First, we will discuss about the process concept. What is a process? Then process scheduling, how you are managing the different processes in the system. When a particular process is going to have the CPU, when it is going to uh, lead that CPU. Operations on processes, what other operations you can perform on the different processes. The inter-process communication. Inter-process communication means you are having so many processes inside a system, how your processes are communicating with each other. Running processes may communicate with each other. Then IPC in shared memory systems. IPC means inter-process communication in shared memory system, inter-process communication in massive process system. These are the two models we will be discussing the inter-process communication. Then examples of inter-process communication system. Then communication is client-server systems. Then what are the different objectives for this chapter? What we are going to learn? We will be able to identify the separate components of a process and illustrate how they are represented and scheduled in an operating system. How they are represented and being scheduled. Schedule means you are going to make a queue, a schedule. Then suppose you are having 5 different processes, in which order they are going to execute. This execution order will be known as the scheduling. Describe how processes are created and terminated in the operating system, including developing programs using the appropriate system calls that perform these operations. Describe and contrast inter-process communication using shared memory and massive passing. Design program that uses pipes and POSIX shared memory to perform inter-process communication. Then we'll be following some examples. Now the process concept, the basics of a process. What do you mean by a process? An operating system executes a variety of programs that run as a process. There may be different type of processes inside a system. For every process, there will be a time limit. In what time it will be completely executed. Okay. Then definition of a process. A program in execution. It's a program. Program is static. Program is doing nothing in your system. Program is in secondary storage. Whenever you want to run that particular program, program is nothing but a file. File and program, both things are same. Program in execution. Process execution must progress in a sequential fashion. Suppose you want to perform a process, you want to run a process, then in that process there will be so many instructions written inside the process. All the process instructions must be executed in a sequential way. You cannot directly run first line, then directly run the 10th line, then 100th line, then again you are moving back to the second line. It should not be there. In a process, the execution order must be sequential. No parallel execution of instructions of a single process. You cannot run two different instructions simultaneously for a single process. Suppose in a single process you are having 2000 lines of instructions. You cannot perform two instructions at the same time. You can run two instructions, but these instructions should be from different processes. If there are 5 different processes, you can run 5 different instructions simultaneously. But in a same program, in a same process, you cannot run more than one instruction at a time. Then what are the different parts you are having in your process? First one is your program code, also called the text section, where all the coding, whatever you have written in your program will be there. All these lines of code will be converted into instructions. Then these instructions will be executed with this sequential order inside the operating system. Current activity including program counter, processor registers. So what instructions you are going to run next will be managed by the program counter. So there should be a program counter associated with each of the process. In your process, there will be several lines of code, several instructions, and a program counter will be there. A program counter will be having the address of the instruction that is going to be executed next. Then there will be a stack containing temporary data like function parameters, return addresses, local variables, etc. Whenever you are running a particular process, you might be calling some different functions. For calling this function, you should save your current program counter value and you will be shifting to some other location. So some address must be stored in the stack for later use. So there must be some space which we'll be using as a stack here. Then data section. Data section will be having all the global variables. Then the heap containing memory dynamically allocated during runtime. Suppose you want some extra memory for saving some input from the user or saving some content from the output, whatever you want to give to the user, then you must be having some space for writing temporarily that amount of data. So you will be using some heap. So these are the parts of a particular process. In a process, there are so many things associated with that process. Uh, we can say a process is having so many things than the program itself. Program is a smaller quantity, process is a bigger one. All the code, whatever you have written in the program, will be there in the process as well. But process will be having these additional things: text section, program counter, stack, data section, and heap.